From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Hourly News Blast. Advocate is reporting backlash has erupted among Democrats and LGBTQ plus advocates in Ohio after two major state politicians pulled back on their support for transgender rights, according to an in-depth report by local news outlet Signal Statewide. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Amy Acton and longtime U.S. Representative Marcy Kaptur of Toledo, who is up for re-election in November, are being criticized by Democratic advisory groups and LGBTQ plus activists for their positions on transgender issues ahead of the fall election. Kaptur recently voted for a GOP-backed measure requiring parental notification when students seek to change their names or pronouns at school, and Acton was criticized for describing transgender girls as boys while explaining her position on transgender student athletes. Though Acton had not previously stated her views on transgender issues, she had attended several Pride events in June. That month, however, Acton said in a newspaper statement that she doesn't support boys playing in girls' sports. Her use of the word boys caused controversy within the LGBTQ plus community. In May, Kaptur who has historically, voted in favor of LGBTQ plus protections, voted for the Republican-backed H.R. 2616, the Stopping Indoctrination and Protecting Kids Act, which requires schools to notify parents when a child asks to change their gender, pronouns, or preferred name. The bill also would withhold federal funding from schools that teach or advance concepts related to gender identity. Both politicians will appear on Ohio ballots in November, and Democrats have increasingly blamed the party's support for transgender rights for some of its losses in the 2024 elections. The Buckeye Flame, a Cleveland-based LGBTQ plus news outlet, recently published separate opinion pieces criticizing each Democrat for failing to support transgender Ohioans as Republicans continue advancing restrictions on their rights. What we've heard from various elected officials is if you're going to try to get a statewide electorate, you're going to have to make some compromises. Ken Schneck, Buckeye Flame's editor, told Signal. But that comes at a cost at the hands of LGBTQ plus voters. Transgender activist N.V. Gay, who wrote the op-ed on Acton, noted that the gubernatorial candidate's use of the word boys was particularly harmful because it suggests that she believes transgender girls aren't girls. I think the effects of her words are extremely damaging to the trans girls out there who are wanting to just be themselves, wrote Gay. We are seeing elected officials willing to compromise on the civil rights of marginalized communities in exchange for a perceived electoral advantage, wrote trans activist and politician Ariane Childrey in the Buckeye op-ed on Kaptur. This pattern reveals a harsh truth about the Democratic Party establishment. The second political wind shift, they treat trans people like we are disposable, they said. In addition to criticism from LGBTQ plus advocates and activists, Acton faced backlash from two prominent Democratic advisory groups over her position and choice of words. The Ohio Democratic Party's Progressive Caucus, an official state party advisory group, issued a statement which it later deleted, criticizing Acton's stance and warning that it could cost the Democratic Party support. Any one of us could have warned her of that natural consequence if any one of us had been in the room with her, the statement read. Despite our disagreement on this issue, we remain ready to work with her to achieve our shared goals to improve life in Ohio. Another advisory group, the Ohio Democratic Party's Pride Caucus, commented in a July 2nd Facebook post on Acton's insensitive wording, noting there are no boys and girls sports and that trans girls are girls. And that's News Blast for this hour. The PEP Radio YouTube channel has news updates throughout the day. Be sure to subscribe to keep informed. You can also find news updates on our Instagram page. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the homepage at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.